what we're launching is something we're calling the Boston Stress Study. We now have over 1,000 people who will be a part of that study. We're working with a wide range of partners to make that be a much bigger study. Our motivation here really is the Framingham Heart Study. The Framingham Heart Study started in 1948 with 5,209 people. It's now on its third generation, and pretty much everything we've learned about the heart has come from the Framingham Heart Study. So our goal now in 2015 is let's start understanding how stress affects humanity by starting with a focal group of folks here in Boston. Doctors, nurses, students, even police officers, politicians, CEOs, software developers. The reality is stress is affecting us all. So as part of the Boston Stress Study, we have partners coming in who help us to understand not only how stress is affecting the whole city of Boston in real time and over the long term, but also how stress is affecting their organization. And the stories that we'll be telling is effectively tied to how stress really does affect us all. It affects us every minute of every day, whether we're sleeping or we're exercising or we're in a meeting at work. Stress is affecting us, it's affecting our best capabilities, and it's affecting our overall happiness. One of the cleanest, clearest deliverables from the Boston Stress Study will be a real-time and long-term map of the city of Boston and how we experience stress by our commuting type, by the places that we work, by our profession, by our gender. The reality is this data now enables us to see things that we had never before been possible at seeing. It's providing a lens in terms of how does city life really affect us at the deepest aspects of our overall humanity. By working with us on the Boston Stress Study, you'll not only understand how stress is affecting your organization, you'll help us to understand how stress affects us all. What's really interesting to me as a neuroscientist is stress actually affects brain development. This is now clearly established that stress effectively shrinks the brain and shrinks areas of the brain tied to memory and learning, focus, and even creative decision making. So folks who are growing up in high stress situations, it's affecting their ability to pull themselves out of poverty. And so by understanding stress at a fundamental level, we're not only showing how stress affects productivity, we're affecting how stress affects human development. And if we don't take stress seriously as a society, we're not helping the people who are most in need of our help. Now, when we had the original idea for Neumitra, we soon learned that it had turned out there was actually a lab at MIT that had been investigating very similar aspects for many, many, many years. It just gave us tremendous confidence that this was actually an issue that could be solved. And not only solved in our lifetimes, but solved very, very quickly. MIT exists at the cutting edge of what's possible for technology. So our challenge was, how do we take those learnings from academia and how do we bring them out into the world? And while we've had many offers to bring our company to other places, we realized ultimately that in Cambridge and in Boston and in that ecosystem, only here could our company be possible. Because it adds an intermixing of the medical community with the technology communities that makes Boston and Cambridge the best place in the world to re-envision healthcare at a fundamental scale.